Have, we'll call this March 23rd Jackson County Commission meeting to order. Have a roll call.
District 1, Mr. Guthrie.
Present.
District 2, Mr. Benson.
Present.
District 3, Mr. Miller.
Present.
District 4, Mr. Ledwell.
Present.
And Chairman is also present.
Okay, we have a quorum present, so we can conduct business. We'll have our invocation by Mr. Porter and our pledge by Mr. Dillon.
God, our Father in heaven, we're blessed to be here today. We're so thankful for the spring weather we're seeing, the warm weather, and the beautiful sunshine, the flowers are starting to bloom. Thank you, God, for that and for all your creation. God, we thank you for these men that are gathered here today to, as elected officials, to discuss the business of the county and the good things for the people of this county. God, we pray you bless them and bless their families. Watch over us all, guide us and direct us, and save us. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We need the approval of the minutes for the February 23rd meeting. We didn't have this at the previous one, so we'll have it tonight. So we have a motion or any changes to the minutes before we proceed? Have a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Make it motion.
Motion, we have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Next item is approval of the agenda. We have 4 items. We should have 5 items, though. I'd like to add as the first item, presentation. Oh, I'm sorry, we got it on the presentation. Okay, so 4 items on the agenda. Any changes before we proceed? The motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion.
Motion, we have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. So first we have Mr. Dust Rogers with the Economic Development Authority, and he has a slideshow, presentation, and discussion he'd like to share with us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank the county commission for allowing me to be here. I'm going to be respectful of your time, try to be brief. And Chairman Rogers, I'll ask you if I do go past 10 minutes, just flash me your watch, and I'll try to do that. First of all, I want to thank y'all. Several of you went to Washington, D.C. with us last year and this year to help work on economic development issues and infrastructure type issues. Very important for y'all to do that, and I appreciate you guys doing that, being supportive of economic development. So, thank you very much. I work for Jackson County Economic Development Authority. As you know, this is a little different presentation from what we've done in the past, so it'll be a little briefer, a little different. But you guys know what our mission is. It's to create jobs, improve economic well-being, quality of life for the citizens of Jackson County. We do that through industrial development, whether it's attracting new industry or helping existing industry expand here in Jackson County. We work all over the whole county. Primarily the industrial sites, though, are in Bridgeport, Stevenson, Scottsboro, one in Section, one behind the community college. But we work all over Jackson County. And our board is also the County Industrial Development Board. They're one of the same. The EA board and IDB are the same. So we can work in areas that are unincorporated. I want to talk today about industrial recruitment. And that's primarily what we do is industrial recruitment. People get confused when you say economic development. A lot of people think it's just industrial recruitment. It's not. It's a multifaceted thing. The Chamber of Commerce is involved in economic development too. They do retiree attraction, small business development, retail, commercial business development, that type of thing. So but what we do is mainly industrial development. A lot of people don't realize it, but our existing industry, which I want to focus on that today, that's the most important thing that we work with at the EDA. Everybody likes, especially you elected officials, and we do too. Everybody likes the announcement, likes some new companies coming in, and we do too. We do spend a lot of time and a lot of effort on that. But for a rural county like Jackson County that's not on the interstate, most of our job growth comes from existing businesses. And we help those companies by providing information services to help them expand, prosper, and we do a whole lot with workforce development, which is what we're hearing more and more as we work with these different companies and even prospects. They're concerned about the workforce and they're interested in that. So we're involved with the Alabama Technology Network at the college, Northeast College. We do a CEO Expo. You guys, some of y'all have been involved with that before. That's for 9th graders to come in. And, impact on that board. Of course, that's part of the Chamber of Commerce. Ernest Pruitt Center of Technology, some of you guys might have actually gone there back in the day. That's a good high school tech program. I'm on their advisory board too. So it's a, I would say the CEO Expo where you reach ninth graders and Epcot, that's like a foreign thing. That's working with to develop the future workforce. Sheila that works in my office is vice president, and that's her primary function is doing workforce development. I want to talk to you a minute about existing industries and about recent expansions, because you'll hear people say, you know, wish we had more jobs, and I do too, but I think what they're really saying is I wish we had XYZ type job or some specific type job. Let me just go over a few of these. Actually, I met KTNA, you'll see in the middle there, I met with Hollywood Town Council Tuesday night. They approved the resolution supporting the tax abatement we'll grant at our hopefully Industrial Development Board meeting for a $2.4 million expansion. KTNA came in here, say so 5 or 6 years ago. They now have 92 employees. They'll add 22 more employees with this. They're going to add 24,000 feet of manufacturing space, another 2,100 feet of office space. So they've got a sizable number of admin office people in that building too. Our two largest employers will be Maple Drugs here in town, Beaulieu. Maple is around 18, 19, sometimes 2,000 people. Beaulieu, 900 plus people, 2 plants in Bridgeport. Beaulieu's had numerous expansions. There are many jobs there. They told me they have up to 50 to 100 jobs there available right now. They would love to have more people apply for these jobs. Great Western Products is Hollywood. Johns Manville, JM, they had a job fair last fall here in Scottsboro, hired 12 more people. Y'all saw probably last week where they just approved an expansion there to add 20% more capacity. That's new manufacturing machinery. We love it when these companies are expanding because it means they've been successful here. It's a testimonial to Jackson County that they can make a living here, they can do well. Brown Foreman up in Bridgeport, Stevenson area, Mr. Glass, in your neighborhood, they had your second shift there, done very well, pay above the average up there too. It's a tough job, but doing very well. Word's getting out too on them because they're getting logs from as far away as Virginia. Polymer Industries, that's one of our county industries, that's in Henniger. People don't know it, that's in Jackson County. Everything except for the offices in Jackson County. The manufacturing areas all in Jackson County. The office is actually in DeKalb County, but they pay their taxes here in Jackson County. Good company, they've expanded, have I think 305 employees over all the different operations. We've just been working with them on expansion. We got that approved. Safety Weave, that's down here in the old Goodyear building. They've just purchased another 125,000 feet of that building. That building is fully occupied except for the 30, 40,000 feet where the dip feed used to be on that building. 3 separate companies under one roof there. Polymite High Performance, Safety Weave, and Toyobo, which Invista is the owner of some of those. They're kind of conglomerate. Safety Weave's been constantly expanding since they got here, and they're working on that building right now, adding new machinery and equipment. So I want to just kind of give you a case and show you there are some jobs out there. These folks are looking for good employees here in Jackson County. If you know someone who's out of work, please have them touch base with either them. A lot of them apply online. A lot of them you have to go through the Career Center, which is housed with Impact Learning Center. Okay, a lot of people don't realize, but when you look at manufacturing in Jackson County, people say we don't have any manufacturing jobs. That's baloney. 32% of our jobs are manufacturing. 32%, 1/3. That's much, much higher than the state and national average. 24% of our workforce are involved or working in those jobs. That means there are a lot of people that come from outside Jackson County that are taking up part of those jobs too. So that's a lot of manufacturing jobs. Now I'll say the big majority of those would be Maples and Beaulieu. That's a good percentage of our total manufacturing jobs, but that's not the only ones. Look here at some of our top 10, maybe our top manufacturers. Again, Maples, Beaulieu, the 2 largest ones. Lozier's got 2 locations here in Scottsboro now. I remember when they acquired the old field press building out by the airport. They pay pretty well. You'll see them advertising for jobs. HTPG in the Scottsboro Industrial Park. We had a consolidation project where that one we actually won it over a Yuma, Arizona project. They've grown. Rock has a couple of projects they're working now, expansion projects. Last year they did, I don't remember the numbers, Stacey, you better remember, but I won't say it's $50, $80 million of additional investment. When those companies are investing like that, that's good for direct jobs, it's good for job retention, but it's also good for companies like like Mr. Level Plumbing or whoever is doing the HVAC work, doing outage work. So it's a good multiplier for manufacturing guys. Sano, that's a good testimony. They're a tier 1 automotive supplier. They do almost 99% of Honda's business in Honda, Alabama. They also do a lot of Nissan business, Smyrna and in Mississippi. They've expanded 7 times at their location. About every 2 years when they pick up a new model, they've expanded. So they're up to 305 employees, no, 352, I'm sorry. They're doing very well. 305, that number. U.S. Stoves in Bridgeport, U.S. Gypsum's growing once again in Bridgeport. At one time, they were producing sheetrock 7 days a week, 24/7, but then the housing market crashed. They're starting to bounce back, having a better business. So these are just some of our main companies, major companies in Jackson County, a few of them, pretty diversified. Mention real quick about the Advantage site. That's the Jackson County Industrial Park. This park wouldn't be in existence without the help of the county commission. It's really a joint effort. County commission, City of Scottsboro was involved with it. They purchased half of the industrial park up there. Our legislative delegation who helped us with some of the TJ lieu of money way back then to buy that. Northeast Alabama Community College, North Alabama Electric Co-op, Scottsboro Water, Sewer, and Gas Board, and we did get some federal money going to that part. We didn't get any state money, but we got a federal money to help with the infrastructure. And that's why it's important for you guys to go with us. We end up getting about $2 million for water, sewer, and for road there. A lot of people ask about our spec building. Believe you me, I would dearly love, probably more than anybody, to sell that building soon and then turn around and build another one, hopefully. We've had it a while, had it longer than I expected we would. Have some interest in it right now. Hopefully we'll be able to see that through. I looked on my notes before I left the office. We've been able to submit that on 137 different projects. And that's just projects that I've been able to submit on. That doesn't include projects NADA and the development office has submitted on. We've had a number of looks. It's generated a lot of looks for us, a lot of leads. KT&A wouldn't be here without it. KT&A came in, we didn't even have a roof on that building. KT&A came in and they decided they had time to build their own building, so they did. So that building is not just sitting there. It's not a hay barn or anything like that. It's still a good building. It still generates marketing activity for Jackson County, and we're still working diligently to sell it. One of our sites you may not be familiar with is the Northeast College site. It and the Jackson County Industrial Park are both called Advantage sites, and that was the program we went through to have it designated to make sure all the due diligence was available. The TJ Training Center is a result of that. That wouldn't be here if it wasn't for us having Advantage site information. Mr. Porter, I think you were on our board probably when we had that, and maybe Stacy too, back when we got that done. Okay, something that's new, you may not be aware of, but Scottsboro, Jackson County are a Valley Gold Sustainable Community. This is a new effort through TDA Economic Development. It helps us get a different sort of marketing. A lot of European projects look at sustainability, going green, whatever you want to call it, but there's a whole lot of going green in Jackson County people don't realize, such as the methane gas to electricity at the landfill. That's a big problem. Some of our historical and cultural preservation, our recycling effort, lots of different things. We're one of 3 communities that got the gold level. The other 2 were Huntsville, Alabama, and Florence. We were all the first 3 to get that in Alabama, the only 3 in Alabama. The rest of them are in Tennessee, maybe one in Kentucky, and one in Mississippi, and TJ territory. And it was not an easy process. Chairman Hodges served on our team and helped us with that. With that, I encourage you to visit our website, take a look, and I'll open up for any questions you may have, any comments. Feel free to get in touch with me or Sheila or Marilyn in my office at any time. Any questions?
Comments? Well, thank you for taking the time to.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank y'all very much. Thank you for what y'all do.
I think everybody has a copy of that presentation.
Yes.
If you'd like to.
Feel free to call us anytime you have questions. Thank
Thank you.
y'all.
Get your flash drive. All right. We'll move on to our old business and move on to our new business. And first item, motion to advertise for a clerk of the solid waste department. You have a copy of the job description that has to be typed up. This is was an office manager position. We're going to change this to a clerk 2 position for the time being until we have time to look a little bit deeper into the department and the reorganization. on this before we proceed. Last time I told you I didn't think we need to fill this after doing some, having some discussion with the folks and understanding the process. I think it would be wise to go ahead and fill this position. I think it'll work with our ultimate goal as well. Questions or comments on this? Okay, do we have a motion to approve advertising for this position based off of this description?
Make that motion.
Motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any other questions? And this description is very general in a lot of senses. I hope that as we go forward, once we get to a lot of personnel changes done this year, that we'll be able to get some job descriptions that better detail a lot of the jobs that are done. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Next, we have two boards, vacancies that have come open. These were announced, I think, 3 weeks ago, so now we have those that have put in. So first, we'll go with the Cumberland Mountain Water Board, and we'll open the floor for any nominations for that board. Do we have any nominations for the Cumberland Mountain Water Board?
Nominate Jeff Arnold, interested in remaining.
Okay. Have a nomination for Mr. Arnold. Do we have any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Okay, if we have none, we'll close that. Since he was the only one that's been nominated, entertain a motion to approve Mr. Arnold for that position.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. I realize it does not say the length of the term on here. I will try to get that on future notices here. Next one is for the Healthcare Authority. This is the hospital board. We've had 3 that have put in on this. I think one was a rollover from the previous one. And we have one position. This one will go until September of 2017. It's filling a term that has been vacated by Mr. What's his name? Harry Kinsey. So this was vacated, was now open, so we'll entertain any nominations for the Healthcare Authority.
I'd like to nominate Dr. Rockle, filling it out.
We have a nomination for Dr. John Reichel. Do we have any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Okay, having none, we'll entertain a motion to approve the only nomination that was brought up. We have a motion.
Make that motion.
We have a motion and a second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
I would like to keep the other 2 applicants.
Can we just
Let them roll them over to the next position.
We can, it'd be good to set up, I would say, if there's no opposition, we can keep these applications for a year, so if a position does come open within a year after their submission, everyone's okay with that. So we will keep these, for this next, process in September. We will have 3 more appointments, to make in September. Okay. So we have a motion second. Any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Okay. Next item is regarding temporary worker at the Parks Department. Mr. Barnes, explain that.
Every year we have to hire a temporary person because of the seasonal work that we have, grass and all that stuff. It's time to hire one. He can work up to 6 months. And it's in the budget for it, so I think y'all just have to approve, just go ahead and hire one.
And normally we have to approve a name for this. Names. I know we changed the rules last year.
I got with Michelle, she says it doesn't have to be advertised
Right.
since it's a
Right.
temporary worker. And I think she said we can pull from a,
List of,
yes, application pool.
okay. So any questions or comments before we proceed? Since we had discussed this before. Okay, is there a motion to authorize the temporary worker for the Parks Department?
Make that motion.
Motion, we have a second.
Second.
And when will they start? When do you plan on having
they go through the hiring agency, the temp agency?
You'll submit a name to us, correct?
I don't think Michelle thought we didn't have to come back with it.
You may have to submit it.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to advertise. You can use an existing, my recollection of it is that you can use the existing list if there is one, but I think the commission still has to approve who it is.
Okay.
I don't think they can just authorize
Okay.
hiring, I think they have to approve it.
So do you have that name tonight? Did you have that name tonight, or did you want to?
No, yeah, I'll have to put it on for the
Okay.
next work session.
Okay. So, in this case, we can hold off on this if, I don't think there's a need to vote on anything tonight. Okay. So, Mr. Gray, you care to withdraw your motion? Mr. Duffy, your second? Yes. Okay. And when you have that name for us, we'll submit that and vote on it.
Okay.
All right, next item, motion to amend the contract for boat rental business. You have a copy of the current contract in your files on the municipal barn. Could you explain what the change on that is?
Yeah, he was paying for a building and a covered boat slip. He gave up the covered boat slip, which was making $300 a month last year, plus his utilities. This year he gave up the covered boat slip, so in his contract it states it's supposed to go up $50 for the next 2 more years. So he's wanting to use some of our existing docks, open docks, where we park our transit boats. So I think we talked about the other day, Jason, Mr. Venable and Mr. Hodges, the $200 would be sufficient for the building and use of the transit boat slip docks, 4 spots.
So instead of a covered dock, which was received, he received the building as it has been with the increase as stated in the original contract, plus the use of the transit slip.
Right, really, the $50 is going towards the increase it's supposed to for the contract, and $50 is going for the use of the open transit slips.
Okay. So the total new contract amount for this year would be
$200,
$200.
and next year it would be $250.
200 a month?
Correct.
Yes, that's for 8 months. No, that's plus utility.
A question, your comment?
So it dropped $100.
Well, the big part of it was he was paying for the covered slip. That's what the big
Right.
charge was.
Cover slip $200.
Well, we actually give him the covered slip. He's paying for the building,
Well,
if I
all of it,
remember correctly.
I thought it was in together.
My understanding was it was $100 for the building is what we had come up with, and the rest was for we gave him a discount on the building because it wasn't being used, but the slip would have been used, so we charged him the price of the slip. And what's the slip usually rent for per month?
Well, at that time it was 200, now it's 220.
$220,
Yes,
right?
sir, it's down
So
to
200 of that original 300 was for the boat slip. So we were renting it for $100 a month, and then now we $150.
Do we have any shortage of space for transit? I mean, he's not taking up any
No, sir.
usable space.
We have maybe 3 transits a year. That's a long dock, and we never have enough, one at a time is all we ever have. I mean, that's never used.
That's all we're dropping is, and we don't charge for that transit normally, correct?
Do one
We don't
sir.
charge for the transit normally,
Yes,
correct?
sir, it's 25 a night.
Oh, is it?
Yes, sir.
So the building, how many slips? 4?
Yeah, he takes, I think he parks 4 boats down there, yes. He's not using any power or nothing down there, it's just the parking of the boats, so.
Taking up a slip.
Not a cover slip. We have transit slips, which are, if someone wants to come in and pull their boat in and park it for the night, they may go to a hotel or whatever else, they can park it there. Or folks is that for camping also, or do they have a separate slip if somebody is out there camping?
Right, they're separate camping.
How many transit slips do we have?
We have it, that whole dock is full. I've got enough right now for 2 boats, wired in to where they can plug in.
But he's gonna take up 4 slots.
Well, he's gonna take up probably a third of it. Third of the dock. Of the dock, yes. And the rest of it is gonna be for transit.
And we don't, again, has that been an issue, or?
No. We usually get 1 to 2 transit boats a year, simply because we're so far off the river.
And this revision to this contract, it'll still terminate next year, right? The contract will still terminate after next season.
Yeah, have 1 more year with an increase of $50.
We're not extending the contract, we're just changing
The term, to take off the boat slip.
I guess maybe I'm just not understanding, but you was at 300, it's supposed to go to 350 this year.
Right.
And just because he don't get a covered slip, he went to 200,
Right.
covered slip alone was 200.
so that's,
How many boats did he park in that covered slip?
Mostly just 1, because
And now he's gonna park 4 when we drop it.
sometimes they would put 2 there.
But sometimes they'll have 4.
For once,
Sometimes they'll have more than that.
it shouldn't have. I can just tell you what he kept in the water last year. That's what.
Charles, you seen a large, the main reason we done this so cheap to begin with was because we were making money off of fuel sales. Did we see a pretty good increase in our fuel sales?
We've seen some, not a significant amount.
Last year was the first year to do it, too.
Last year, the first year to do it right.
I
We've
think
seen
it's
some, I can keep up with it for you this year and let you know.
I think it's a benefit to the park. It brings folks down there. The building wasn't being used, something that we're getting off of it. I don't know, I personally think that you're not losing anything if the transit slips are constantly used, or if we find that there's an issue with, it being used, if there's not enough space, if we do this, I think we may, that may be different. But with the park project going on this year, I just don't see that being an issue. Those transit slips are gonna be utilized, and in my mind, it's better to get something rather than nothing off of it, so I feel if we don't do this, we're gonna get nothing off of it.
Is this contract, our idea, or who had input into the contract?
He had requested a change in the contract. We talked about the terms at a meeting last week discussing the park project and asked about the terms. So these are the terms that were talked about to submit to the commission. Now, it's understood the commission has to agree to the terms, that was explained.
Right.
But these are the terms that are recommended based on the conversation that we had.
We had a letter a month ago with some concerns from some folks out there. Were any of those addressed during this meeting?
Yes, the question was whether or not the individual that's doing the lease actually had to pay for the slip, and that person did pay for the slip year-round. The plan was to pay for it year-round, and that's why he wanted to drop that slip. Because he didn't want to have to pay that amount for the slip. So he's actually not been using that slip for the past how long?
Since like September, he subleased it out and the guy for a month, and then we, the park, rented it to this individual.
Our options are to go with this, which, again, that slip is being rented now. Our options would be to go with this, or to, by contract, we can push someone out and take a slip to give back to him. But we will have to provide him a slip if we want to stay in the terms of the current contract.
Bottom line, what we agreed to is not changing money-wise, because we're still renting the slip out.
Right.
We went up $50, and actually we're gaining $50. because we went up
Actually,
$50 more
it's
dollars.
70 because
So actually, we're gaining $50 a month. That we
Well,
wouldn't
70
be
really
gaining
because
if
boat
we stayed-
slip went to
stayed with
220.
the contract.
You gained $50 a month,
Yeah.
You're renting the slip out, plus you're
but you
getting.
got $25 a night transit slips times 4, it's $100 a
But
night.
I can show you, we didn't do but about 3 In all, we've probably done 7 days of transit voting
Last year,
in a year's time. And one guy stayed a week with us, 5 days, and it wouldn't have been that much for him to stay a week with us. Because we're 2.5, 3 miles off the railroad, and we just don't get no transit.
And this contract's only for March through November.
Right.
The chairman said year round, but the contract said March through
He
November,
pulls his boats out of the water October the 15th.
and he quit paying for it anyway.
no, it was being rented by someone else as of September, correct?
The covered boat slip?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it was being rented by someone else in that time frame. We would
So
have
they
to,
paid you
They
on,
paid the park.
on
yes,
top
sir.
of this. When this contract expired, March through November, they paid you for the other
Okay,
months.
he subleased it out in September because he wanted to get rid of the slip. I said, okay, until it was up. And then when it
Till
was
November.
up, the individual came to us, done the paperwork, and he's the owner of the slip right now, that individual.
so he did, the question that was brought up was, are they allowed to keep their boat there year round without paying for it? They're not keeping their boat there year round without paying for it.
No, he has to pull, his insurance specifies, he's got from March 15th to October 15th, 8 months, that's all he pays for. And if he don't have insurance on that boat, then they got to go. And they'll go anyway.
So December, January, February, the slip's open, and you could rent it to whoever, right?
It's open now. He gave, it says he just gave up the slip.
Okay.
It's being rented now.
It's being rented, yes, it's been rented since day one.
We would have to pick another open slip or make an open slip in order to comply if we were to give him, if he asked for his slip back, we would have to
No,
provide
it's
it.
slip, right, yes. We haven't lost any money on the slip. I mean, we've got our money, and we've got our money from him.
I think it's an asset. My question was if the concerns that was brought up by citizens was addressed, and you answered that.
And if there were any others, I'll check the work. I think there were a couple things, but as far as that goes, that was, all those concerns were addressed with it. And it is a good deal, I think, on the building, but it's also what we talked about to do, to see if we can get this business going there, and as it produces more, maybe we'll of course pursue more, once this contract is up.
And also, you know, we're wanting to put the cabins and stuff like that down there. If we offer a service like that, maybe, you know, hopefully that could draw somebody down there, you know, to that. You know, it's not really gonna make us or break us right now, but I think once we get all that in, you know, it could help us out.
I think there are a lot of benefits to it.
Motion to make the changes to the contract as long as we don't extend the contract.
Okay, motion to make those changes, do I have a second? Any further discussion, questions, comments? Yeah, like I said, it won't extend, it will still end in 2016, correct?
But the new contract will just be March through November.
This will be strictly an addendum, it'll still be March to November on the railroad.
So he does not use the transit slips December, January, February.
No, sir.
Correct.
And then this contract, it'll wind up in October 15th of 2016.
Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say no. Okay. That concludes items on our agenda. So we will now, Mr. Barnes, everything else? Mr. Whiteman?
No, sir.
Mr. Manning? Mr. Ford? Mr. Miller?
Yes, I have one question, Carl. The Wi-Fi in the park area, is it working?
Yeah, I think Mr. Hodges had a meeting with Scottsboro Electric Power Board, and they came out and switched us from with a 5 megabytes to a 10. Is that right, Mr. Hodges?
Yes, sir. And I think they
And-
upgraded since then.
And they've upgraded.
You mentioned to me that there were times when it wasn't working, we were paying for the service.
Yeah, I think the problem is the way it's set up. We've got so many hotspots out there, and if everybody gets on Netflix or certain things, it's gonna slow things down. But since we've updated it, it should be better now. I don't know that you'll ever fix the problem wholly, but if there, we talked with the power board and trying to see if we can improve it step by step and see what works.
I
But
think-
overall, that is working.
I think they had them all updated, and was waiting on some parts for just one more, and that was done at
Okay.
City Park, so they should have that one done by now. And
Okay.
they also came out and put new bigger antennas on and things. I've not had any complaints on them in a couple, 2 or 3 weeks, so, I mean, if y'all do, feel free to let me know.
Anything else? Mr. Guthrie?
Yeah, we're having our community meeting at North Sun Mountain on April 6th at 6 o'clock. Appreciate the papers encouraging people to come out. We need to get as many people from the county to get involved as possible. So we'd like everybody, welcome everybody, come out on April 6th at 6 o'clock, North Sun Mountain.
Anything else? Mr. Benjamin?
Having my community meeting on April the 20th at the Rosewood Community Center.
That'll be at 6 or whatever.
Where is it gonna be at?
Rosewood.
On the 20th,
Anything else? Mr. Levin?
No, sir.
Okay, and to reiterate, on those community meetings, we plan to have all our work sessions out in the county for these community meetings. So we will have our work session followed by the community meeting